Or is he checking out the picks and bans? Because they are on your screen. It's going to be Volibear and Shen taken away by Dragonborns and Draven banned out from Hosan. But he doesn't seem to be too fazed by that lately.
I mean, he's come to expect it now. I mean, he showed how amazing he is at Draven. He showed how amazing he is at AP in Italy. I believe even Season 1 and 2, he was playing AP mid. That's why he knows how to play champions like that. And you should expect that. I mean, it's kind of some respect as well. They don't want to see you play your favorite champion, just like banning Nivea versus Froggen.
And just like Hosan with Draven, Maluno has been playing a brilliant Jarvan lately.
He has really stepped up to the table. I mean, the first couple of weeks, it was really kind of disappointing. I mean, I hate to say it, but we saw it. Like a Shen, he wasn't really able to create any plays. But now, this whole week, he's been playing perfect, very spot on, and really rising to what his team needs.
And there is Vi being banned out. I'm just noticing how the look at this height difference right now. I feel like I've been done with my chair. There you go. I love it. Thank you very much.
The story of my life being too tall.
Picks and bans, ladies and gentlemen. I'm still going through here. Kale, of course, was the final ban out there. And Xin Zhao being selected. Maluno has been using that one quite heavily. Nasus Jungle possibly coming out. Hercubot got that one selected. We did see it earlier. Obviously, Diamond Prox ran it before. We saw someone attempt to run it. It was Virtual from Against All Authority.
But he leveled up
and there is Taric being, incorrectly. It's a matter of opinion, but there should be really, if you're a jungler, you should be leveling Spiritfire.
Yeah.
Taric, though, nevertheless, has been selected as well. Interesting that we have suddenly started seeing Taric as that first pick.
Yeah, I mean, he's usually not one of those champions you want to. He's not really heavily contested as a pick lately. I mean, in North America, he mostly is, but in Europe, not really that much. I mean, there's a lot of champions open. As I was just going to say, you have Elise open, you have Shen open, you have Kha'Zix open, where Spontex played an amazing Kha'Zix.
Well, Elise, it was Shushei before. Will it be Shushei again? That's the question. Because, Elise is one of the champions that you could switch position. Could be top lane help. Will we see Hosan play it?
Yeah, and we've seen Morden off the Giants play in the jungle, so she's really versatile, able to play anywhere.
What? Okay. Well, it could. Yes, of course. It's Spontex. Spontex played top lane Xin Zhao, but they've just switched it regardless, and just to screw me over, they're going to go with Kha'Zix.
It looks like that talk they have with Spontex saying, you know what, you could never play Kha'Zix anymore because you never came in or dove in with me, Shushei. That talk seemed to have fixed him up, though, because that last game, he was in the backside of the team every time, picking them up one by one. Perfect play out of him, and they're running a pretty strong combo at this point.
Some would say it was a pain in the backside.
You might say that.
You might say that. We're waiting for the next two bans. What are we thinking here? AD carry and support. The support's already been picked, so it's not going to be that one unless they go maybe with the 3.03 Taric OP strat.
I was thinking about past games. I think we might see Kenny Panda pick up Varus. He's been playing that lately. We saw him on Twitch, obviously, in the first couple of weeks, but hasn't been playing it too much lately. And the Varus, it's not a bad champion because you have the Wither from Nasus, you have the protection. Oh, as I said, I'm going to stop there. So Graves, let's talk about Graves now.
Well, let's talk about Candy Panda because he's 2 deaths away from his KDA being taken out. I was just saw Gambit with them saying, we needed to kill you 2 more times. So we'll see whether he does die a couple of times this time around. Ocelot, though, with Diana, Dirty Diana has been selected quite a few times lately. Didn't work out last game, of course. For the Giants, it was Extermin that was running him. Skara, though, has been running a very, very good Diana lately.
Yeah, she's a very good champion. It was just unfortunate for the Giants. They couldn't really get off the ground. They didn't get the income they needed to really contest in those fights. They have a really strong 5-on-5 fight where it works out in their own favor. But Dragonborns, now 2 picks to go. They have a very squishy lineup. Well, not very squishy, but they have a squishy lineup so far. But they have so much damage on top of that, and they have Xin. If the displacement, if Maluno keeps playing the way he's been playing him for this entire Super Week, they have like a very easy team fight for them at this point. I'm just really curious to see if they're going to go for an attack speed AD carry or maybe
or maybe Nidalee.
Or maybe we're going to see this again.
Nidalee Soraka. I mean, it's funny because how do you deal with it? But EG, they've had time to work it out. They've seen Evil Geniuses go down to this same strategy, the exact same build, in fact. What was no, there was a slight difference, Jarvan.
Yeah, Jarvan.
That's the only difference. But honestly, Xin Zhao can pretty much do the same type of thing as Jarvan.
The thing is, they kind of shut Nasus out. I was trying to think, are they going to play an attack speed AD champion or maybe someone else? And by going with Nidalee and Soraka, who's he going to wither? It's most likely just that Kha'Zix, just to keep him away from your team, or maybe even Zen if he really becomes that big of a threat.
Yeah, Xin Zhao, I probably would have thought they'd go with the wither. As it is, we're waiting for the final pick to come out here. Who is it going to be? It is going to be the top laner. And what would you pick as a top laner? Bearing in mind, probably Kha'Zix in the top lane. That's what it was before Spontex. Of course, they could switch it around. You know, it's entirely possible that Melina does play Kha'Zix jungle.
It is very true.
I'm expecting Spontex to be on it, though,
especially with the way you played last game. I wouldn't be too surprised maybe with Aurelia. Yeah, Kevin's been playing very solid with Aurelia the past 2 times. It's kind of a...
Aurelia is very strong against Kha'Zix, if I recall, in that top lane.
You actually play quite a bit of Kha'Zix, I think. You know,
I have.
You know a little bit more than I do about that.
I know which ones I do badly on, and which champions I can do badly at Lee Sin, oh God. So thank God they nerfed that. Thank you very much, Riot. Thank you very much. Uncle Riot is good to me.
Well, you do work for them. That might be like feeding them some ideas. Guys, we should learn through this.
Guys. I did actually give Jat a few messages last night as well.
Well, looking at SK, with the Aurelia locked in, they have a very tanky team right now. They have 4 members who can take a lot of punishment at this point. Candy Panda has so much burst out of him. The Naz is really going to be a bit of a problem because the armor shred off of his Spirit Fire and the armor shred off of Tarek's Shatter can just open up Candy Panda for even more damage. Like the armor, you really kind of forget about it at some point, just how much extra damage it gives you with the way they change it from percent and flat. But Dragonborns, look what they're sitting at right now. I mean, they're known for last-minute switches, and we'll keep you updated as it finally does tick down, but they are currently sitting on Kha'Zix in the jungle.
Well, I'm expecting it to change, though. Dum.
Oh!
Whoa! Hold on.
Did not expect that.
A minute. So, there has been a change, but it's not the one we're expecting. It's Shushay on Kha'Zix in the mid lane. It's going to be Elise in the jungle, and it's going to be Xin Zhao on the top lane for Spontex. LastSecondChange.com for Dragonborns. It seems to be working out very well. Like it or loathe it, that is perfectly against, in the rules, not against the rules, in the rules to have those last-minute changes. We do not see any teleports on the board, though, so it is going to be Hosan and Mover playing as that Nidalee and Soraka. Dragonborns, again, they're coming out with nice, new, interesting strategies. I am loving it.
Yeah, everyone has to love that because you don't want to see a meta gets kind of boring if you see it played over and over and over again. But with all these new ideas, you know, running the Nidalee bot lane, we have to point out, I mean, he's running 14 flat spell pen, so...
He's got the Doran's Ring again.
Yeah, I mean, because he gets the extra mana per minion kill. He's running 14 flat spell pen, so when he hits you, it's gonna hurt. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are at this point. And it's really exciting to see because, you know, I always enjoy a game with Nidalee. You always do get the oohs in there.
Well, good luck, have fun exchange between the teams. It is going to be the Dragonborns as the blue team, and the red team is SK Gaming. You see it right there. Shushay in that mid lane against Diana as Kha'Zix. That definitely is a different one. And I think, you know, I actually think that change, you know, the fact that the way they picked it, obviously SK were expecting it. They picked Aurelia to say, okay, that works against Kha'Zix top lane. So Dragonborns just reacted to that last pick and said, okay, we're going to change our tactics completely. Who wants to play what?
And that's what's nice about the Dragonborns. They have that ability to play, actually their champion pool is huge. They can play anything and that throws you off. It's really hard to deal with that kind of thing. And Demon, look at the bot lane right now, you know, for both teams. If there is no lane switch, you have a Soraka Nidalee with double heals and you have versus Tarek and Graves. And the Tarek's the only one with that ignite. Graves won't be able to put out the damage to really burst any of them down until he gets a couple of items under his belt. And you're going to have to see someone come down and kind of gank that. But, you know, when Nidalee's 6, you wither her, it's not really going to matter too much because you have that W and Cougar farm to just jump away.
We see a bit of maneuvering around the map. The wards have gone down on the top area of the map. We do see Move Out prone it down in that bush. So 3 wards apiece across the map as it stands, and it looks like Spontex is going to help out Meluna. And this actually tells me there is going to be a lane switch. I think we're going to see the duo lane of Hosan and Movet going towards that top lane.
Very interesting. I was actually kind of surprised they did that because, I mean, yeah, you do have healing out of Tarek, and that's kind of one thing that makes you not want to do it, but it uses a lot of his mana. And Candy Pen, I mean, he is pretty tanky with that passive. Like, if he stays in combat, that extra magic-resistant armor he gets is really hard to penetrate through. But against Aurelia, that's going to be really tough.
Well, we'll see how it works out. Immediately tosses out that spear. That landed, but it didn't look like it landed to me. I've got to be honest, we do see it being flung out there. And you can see Shushay taking some damage from Ocelot. Got to be very careful in these early stages. Ocelot, as it stands on this Diana, see how he performs. Obviously had a bad time against the Kha'Zix last time. Alex Ich ran that out in the last game they played. So may well be getting some pretty horrific flashbacks.
Yeah, that's actually something I completely forgot about. That's got to be really worrisome for him. He has to perform like this game. He really has to, or else his team is just really going to hurt because he's pretty much their damage. Him and Candy Panda. Kevin, he does a decent amount, yeah, but they're relying on those 2 champions to really pull through for their team. And looking at the wards we have so far, we have the lane switch which we talk about, but it's on the blue side this time. We have a lot of wards down to prevent any 3-man or any ganks from the jungler coming in for 3-man dives. So both teams playing very cautious right now.
Well, we'll see whether we do see any of these 3.5-minute dives. Bananas getting tossed out towards Kevin there from Movet. See if we see any flash banana action that could happen. It's not quite the same with the graphic change though for me. It's just not the same.
Yeah, it loses a little bit of its luster, but still, it's always awesome to see that. As they're doing a great job of zoning Kevin right now. He's sitting at 1 CS at this point. Obviously, really has a really easy time under the turret to get that farm. But Shushay not faring so well against Ocelot as Alex Zich did.
Yeah, I have no idea how this matchup works out between the two because Shushay obviously on Kha'Zix can leap in there. Really, I think it's going to be down to how Maluna does in this jungle. Jungle Elite is something that really started off very, very strong. Meanwhile, actually, the damage on that top lane is, you're going to hear a lot of these pings. We said it before. It's when those spears land. It definitely makes a bit of a problem. Nasus, though, coming out of the jungle Hercubot to try and help out his top lane.
And the thing is, it's all about the rune page that Hosan's using. It's that flat pen that he has. That was it 13, I said it, said 14 at this point. It just completely demolishes you in your top, and you don't expect a spear to hit that hard without some AP behind it. And we saw him, he went for the Rabadon's Death Cap as his first big buy. I believe before he even got boots.
Well, he's keeping the pressure on towards that turret. That's going to be the Wither going down. Can they get the damage down on towards Hosan? Has to flash out there, immediately gets healed up, has to use the cleanse. The Ignite going down was cleansed off. Is it going to be enough, though? Hosan is going to go down. It's first blood for Hercubot.
And that is not good. They're continuing. Whoa, actually, Hercubot getting trapped by minions right there.
Oh, and he took a second tower hit that top lane. Meanwhile, down the bottom here, you can see Maluna coming in to try and get on towards Niv. Hercubot got away with next to no health. Maluna didn't quite work out down this bottom lane, and Spontex, they wanted to get the revenge kill of their own in the bottom lane, but as it is, SK Gaming with the advantage.
And so far, this lane switch not working out well for Dragonborns at all. They're the ones that initiated it, and they're the ones that are currently losing right now. We have Kevin able to get some farm, able to get that assist, as he picks up a Ruby Crystal, a couple of wards as well. So he's trying to create an opportunity with that pink ward for another gank to happen. And Spontex, as you're seeing in the bot lane, is behind in CS. He's being zoned quite well and was forced to pop that red pod just to stay alive.
So we do see the bottom lane, Nif and Candy Panda, and Spontex actually will have a very hard time of it here. Against a Taric, surely you just get dazzled, the burst comes down, and we see Candy Panda, he's got double the CS of Hosan currently, so this lane swap not really working out as you would expect, and there is the dazzle again goes out, and a burst combo from Candy Panda onto Spontex. And
we're going to have to see Maluna come down or something. He needs some help, because at this rate, if he keeps getting hit with a stun, then comboed, he's going to die, and they actually look like they're preparing to dive it.
They're going to dive him, you can see them pressure him around there, has to get caught out, there's the dazzle, and he is going to get dropped. It's Candy Panda that picks up and tanks the turret, and that is 2-0 for SK Gaming.
And they're playing this entire game so perfectly well. The last time they met, SK just kind of got destroyed after that Lux double kill on Shushay, but they're playing so perfect at this point. That dive was, you knew it was coming, and it seemed like maybe a potential misplay to Maluna, but still SK taking that little bit of a mistake into their own advantage.
Oh, hello, Maluna's now going to be focused surely on the turret. We see the Hercubot coming around the side. He's getting ready to go on this one. Maluna with that potion running. He's going to have to get the hell out of here. He has got Repel, nice. Remember. Repels the moment the dazzle comes down. Tries to get around. Candy Panda tanking up turret. Uses the barrier and flashes away, but it's another kill picked up. It's the Hercubot that gets it again. He's 2-0.
Great job by SK with that little transition. Hercubot making huge plays with this Nasus. I believe this is the first time he's actually played him, and he's been showing that he has actually been practicing him as also going head-to-head against Shushay in the mid lane, forcing him to play very passive still at this point.
Sure, forcing him to jump away there, and you can't back away in the lane. He's not going to let you. That Crescent Strike should poke you from range, and we do see Ocelot actually heading up towards the top lane. Thought about it. I think the ward was immediately spotting him out there, but Kevin, now actually, like you mentioned, is doing a good job in his top lane. He's protecting the turret down to about half hit points. Meanwhile, that bottom lane was shoved completely. 52-37 CS between the two AD carries on your screen.
And I'm trying to see, yeah, okay, we are going to see
Kevin.
we are going to see SK poise over towards the dragon at this point. We do have a pink ward, 2 of them currently on Nip, and they have 4 members down there to really go for it. Not a lot of poke since Nidalee is in the top lane with Soraka, so they should have a very easy dragon right here, especially since there's no wards out of Dragonborn side. And Dragonborns, they can't really let this happen, but then again, they can't really do anything about it without, having Nidalee and Soraka there.
Oh dear, Maluna, you might be in a little bit of trouble here. He's on the red buff. They're going to come around. They set up. There's the dazzle coming out, and they just blast him through the wall. And Hercubot picks up another.
3-0 Naz. He's looking like Diamond Prox a little bit with the way he plays them, getting all those kills, no deaths. But Dragon, I mean, surely they should be going for it at this point. There's no reason kind of not to, as we are going to have Hercubot started off with Nif. And that should be a very easy Dragon with the aura buff, with the healing, and the lifesteal, which, you know, we never really talk about on Nasus too much. That passive lifesteal he has, it was buffed quite a bit while ago, but it is really underrated at some points.
Well, he has leveled up the Spirit Fire, so we are going with the standard build for the jungle Nasus, which actually we're starting to get used to, honestly, here.
I never thought I would hear that, getting used to a jungle Nasus.
I know, it's not something I thought we'd see come back, but sure enough, there it is, and that's another Dragon picked up, another gold extension, and as it is, the gold is a pretty big gap right now. 4,000 gold, 8 minutes in, that's a big difference.
Yeah, it really is, but, you know, we have to take a look at where the kills are for SK at this point. We were mentioning Hercubot with 3. We have 2 assists, 1 kill over to Candy Panda. It's not ideal to have them on your jungle. You obviously want to feed it to your solo laners, but he's going to be able to afford to get that Aegis a lot earlier. He's going to be able to get really tanky and provide, you know, any sort of auras for his team that they're, you know, to deal with the burst. I mean, that early Aegis is really going to destroy Dragonborns.
Well, the difference is, while we all are seeing that Dragonborns are falling a long way behind here, how is this going to develop late game? Obviously, we've already seen how the Dragonborn strategy works. You land that cocoon, somebody is going to die. It's a fact. How will SK deal with that one? Obviously, with Kevin on here, they have a burst ability, and you can see Hosan, he took a tower down. Exhaust goes on towards Hercubot, he pounces away. Mover now realizes he's going to be the focus. The spear's still coming out. Mover's going to get taken low. Wish is used out. It may well be enough to keep them alive. It will be. Shushei coming in, but Ocelot is following up behind as well. Shushei's going to go leaping across. Instead, just uses the Void Spikes, and now we see Ocelot closing in the bottom of the screen. He will do a Crescent Strike. Will it land? Hosan's in perfect position. Catches all 3 of them. Move forward, pulls them all in. On the turret, they dive in. Mover's going to get dropped down. It's Hercubot that picks up yet another kill. Now we see Hercubot taken low, but he walks away once again like a boss. Shushei with the ultimate. Oh, the flash comes out, but Hosan flashed aggressively. Ocelot makes him pay, and they go in towards Shushei. The ultimate coming out there, forcing him. Shushei low, and now it's backfiring. Maluna comes in. The cocoon just missing by on towards Ocelot. You're going to see the spider coming out. It's not going to be enough, and that's a 2-for-1 for the SK Gaming.
In the meantime, we see the AD carry
0, in fact. Yeah, 1 for 0. I'm losing it.
No, they killed Soraka's too.
Good lord.
Well, either way right now, I mean, SK, they're making huge plays. Like, that top lane, I was just about to say, the first time Hosan and Mover got ganked, it was very one-sided. But since they were both level 6, they had the healing, they had the ultimate at Soraka, they stayed alive for a long time. But with Ocelot coming in, picking up that kill and that assist, it's really creating a lot of problems. Now, taking that mid turret, SK is just, they're stomping them at this point. It's 0-6, 17.5 thousand gold to 12.2, and they're up 2-0 in turrets.
Well, 6-0, like you mentioned, is a big difference. 5k gold. In fact, nearly 6k gold since that turret went down. It's a huge gap.
The thing is, though, it's not over in any way.
It's not. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah.
Hercubot on 4-0-1 is the jungler, so he's not going to be that burst damage that you get later on. Well, actually, he will be if his Qs get strong enough, but he's not compared to. They are walking across a ward here. Dragonborn's ready and waiting for this fight. Hosan expects to pull a spear straight in that bush, instead uses the trap to lead it out there.
And the thing I'm saying is why it's not, over in any way is that, earlier on, the CS difference between every lane was way different than we're currently seeing right now. We're seeing Dragonborns catch up and keep even. I think it was Hosan was 20-30 CS behind Candy Panda, but at this point, he's still keeping up. He'll have that death cap fairly shortly, and when he gets that, and he gets the Sork boots, they have that potential to siege. They don't need the blue buff, but if they have it, it's obviously going to help out quite a bit. But Ocelot, he's getting very dangerous at this point. Yeah, he's getting very aggressive, and that's what I think SK Gaming need to do. They need to take full use of this advantage they've managed to create. You see the Giant Spell being picked up by SK Kevin in that top lane. Spears continuing to come out from Hosan, not really finding their home. I think SK Gaming were actually ready and prepared for this, the eventuality that this may come out from them. Yeah, and looking at, you mentioned Kevin. One thing that's really worrying me is what's Dragonborn's response to him? Oh, they're going to dive in out towards Hosan. That's how the response will be. They managed to use the Moonfall, but the Cocoon comes out. They're going to turn it back around. Kelsolot taken very low. Maluna gets the Q, but the rest of his team managed to react. They come straight back in. Spirit Fire put down, forces them away. I know, I was mentioning Kevin, like, he's going to be so tanky. He's going to have that Warmogs and Sunfire cape eventually, but they don't really have someone to do the damage.
They're going to collapse on towards Nif. Nif is taken very low. You can see he's just off the side. No, not quite catching him, repelling in there. Actually going in towards Hercubot. Craziness. Candy Panda ready and waiting, the KD8 champion of the world.
For who knows how long, though. It depends.
Not for long, probably.
We have Edward closing on him.
I think Patoy's probably up there. He's really high.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Edward, he's making his way up there as well with his Thresh play.
He is, definitely. In Europe, at least. Let's not get carried away. So, 5,000 gold difference, 6 kills to 0, 2 to 1 in turrets. Bottom turret yet to be untouched, really. Maluna finally getting his own red buff. And how is this working out here? We've been talking about Hercubot, obviously helping out, assisting, getting those kills on the dog. But as it is, 53 CS 0-2-0 for the Spider.
Well, you can tell SK has done their research on the Dragonborns. And one thing I've always noticed about Maluna when he was back in Curse is that he's very predictable in the jungle. He seems to do the same path every single time. And with that, I mean, you saw Hercubot invade, took the red from him, took the kill onto him as well. They've definitely done their homework on him, and they're pretty much outplaying them on every front at this point.
Shushay is picking up the blue buff. Let's see how it's going to work out for him. As it is, he hasn't been able to get too aggressive. We do see Kevin getting poked on there. 3-ton strike was about to come up, but he didn't land it. Shushay was ready and waiting to try and help out Spontex in his top lane, and that's kind of what he needs. I wondered when they did the duo lane switch, and you mentioned it briefly at the start, you know, against the Taric is a dangerous thing.
And I think Dragonborns was it was expecting SK to do a lane switch as well, because they did not match up well versus Kevin. I mean, he has a way to get in there on you, and then you have Hercubot follow up with his Wither. You're just not going to escape that. We do have Dragon coming up, and SK have that time down, and are going to be able to pick this one up. And the second of the game for them, extend their goal lead even further.
Except when they reset it, that's not really going to work out too well. The spears coming through, poking in. They can try and get the steal away here. Hasn't really got any vision of it, though, so he's just going to throw it when he gets the reset up. It does land through, but it's just assists SK Gaming and taking it down quicker.
And Kevin just sitting in the top lane, pushing it through, picking up as much farm as possible. Eventually get that turret, but at least it's giving Spontex the ability to catch up as well, to get back in the game, because they're going to need him. That ultimate is going to be very crucial to how these fights really develop.
Shared gold given across there between Hosan and Shushay. What are they trying to push out? I think they might be trying to get that Rabadon's death cap done as quick as possible for Hosan on Nidalee. As it is, you can see he's trying to keep up and pick up as much as they can. They're going to... Oh, failed jump. We didn't see that. Nobody saw that. It's okay.
He pulled a Reginald.
There was only a couple of 100,000 watching you pull a Reginald.
But yeah, looking at items as a developer a little bit, we should talk about them. We do have Maluna going for a little bit of an interesting build in the jungle. He has that Spirit Stone done, and he has Sword Boots as well. I was kind of expecting more of a tanky kind of jungler, maybe Merc Treads, pick up like a Warmogs, maybe a Rylai's Crystal Scepter eventually. You do have the Brutalizer and the tier done for Shushay in the mid lane. And the top, Spontex, he's building up that Warmogs eventually. He also has a couple of damage items. It looks like he noticed that, you know, we're going to need his damage to win these fights, and he's starting to, you know, cater to what they need exactly. We do actually have a grouping of Dragonborns. Looks like they were trying to push that mid lane, but to continue on, like you're saying, the death cap almost done for Hosan. He has the Sork Boots, so he has that crazy amount of penetration to really just devastate anyone he hits with that spear. As you see right there, that was a close range spear on a Candy Panda, but it took quite a huge chunk off of him.
It did do quite a lot of damage. Like you mentioned, the spear to the face, up close and personal from Hosan on Candy Panda. But Candy Panda, oh dear, Spontex, you are in all manner of danger, and that's going to be a very, very dead Spontex. There's no way he's going to get out of this one. It's going to be a 5-man collapse for him. Has to use that ultimate, tries to use the Audacious Charge, but the dazzle from Nif is just close enough. But while this is all happening, it is going to be the Dragonborns pushing the mid lane, though. So SK Gaming may have taken one advantage. They may have got the kill, but they are going to lose their minute turret. The question is, will they keep going through? They've realized it. SK Gaming have spotted the danger, but they're going to get back. Is it going to be too late? Dragonborns continuing on towards the inner turret. They're going to pile on through here. They're going to get a great big chunk of damage down on this turret. Meanwhile, they can see Candy Pandas remain in that top lane. They're going to get it. It's going to be a 2-for-1 tower trade and just one kill. Got to be happy with that.
And SK just getting outplayed right there. Yeah, Spontex is up there at the top. He delayed them as long as possible, but Dragonborns responding perfectly, going for that 2 turret mid push. You give them a lot of gold and a lot of map control that they're going to need. If they can kind of fight in the jungle and get a couple of spear hits, which we saw Hosan do last game, he kept going up towards the right side of the map and hitting them from the jungle, where it's really hard to see him. He created so many opportunities for his team to engage. And SK, they have to make some sort of response here, as they are pushing that, well, they were pushing the mid wave in, but decided to back off instead.
Well, we see that mid wave being cleared out now. 7-0 in kills, but the gold advantage still at 5,000, 3-3 in turrets. Fairly close game, though, still. Despite the massive advantages that SK seem to gain early on, we do see Dragonborn's clinging on here with tactical maneuvering. There's the gold splits across. You can see the two top laners. It's 1,200 gold advantage for Kevin currently. Just 1,400 gold in the jungle. Mid lane, 800 gold advantage. Bottom lane, though, is a big disparity. It's 1,500 gold advantage for Candy Panda currently over Hosan. But it doesn't matter, because once he gets that Rabadon's death cap, those spears are going to hurt regardless of that gold if they land.
And Dragonborns knows that. I love what Mover is doing. This is a perfect decision on his part. He picked up a Sightstone. He picked up, unfortunately, just one Vision Ward, but he realizes his team needs his vision. They need to stop getting picked off one by one. They need to, to pick them off. Eventually, they probably will invest in Oracle very soon, but they are going for this red buff here, and they actually are spotted by Maluno, and I don't think Dragonborns can really do anything about this.
I don't think they can. They're going to try and throw something out there. They're not quite going to get it, though. Juche just making a spot attempt to see if he can pick anything off. Maluna's going to throw out that cocoon. It actually lands on Candy Panda as well as the spider, but that's all it's going to be. While this is all happening, Hosan is getting the free farm on that bottom. Spontex is free farming on the top there.
That's
and
the
SK Gaming, 5-man, trying to drive in towards this middle and pick up an inner of their own.
Yeah, that's the downside. If you have two of your, well, not carries, but two people pushing those side lanes, well, if you get a good spear, it doesn't matter in the end. You can stop that push right in its tracks, but they are chasing him down. And a little bit interesting thing on the items, Maluno, he's going basically straight AP. I mean, he's not building, he's going to Rylai's Crystal Scepter, it looks like, next, but that's pretty much like damage. And they're relying on Spontex to be the one to build the tankiness now.
Well, it's the strategy that seemed to work against Evil Geniuses, and why not stick to it? Different positions played, and that's just showing the versatility of Dragonborns. The question is, will it pay off? We see again, Dragonborn's going to push up that middle. Kevin realizing the danger, and he's not going to leave the mid lane open this time.
Well, last time when we were in this situation, obviously Dragonborns wasn't so far behind, but when that death clap was completed, it's for me to say we started to see a little bit of a push and a siege happening. Let me check if he actually has a blue buff on him currently. No, he does not, and it won't be up for a little bit longer, but Dragonborns, they have the ability to do that. They have a pretty good disengage with the ultimate out of Xin Zhao, with the cocoon out of Maluno, and not to mention the void spikes out of Xuxe to slow them down. So they have the ability to do it, but it doesn't seem like they're yet confident in their ability to.
Well, they're going to try and set something up here. Spontex staying down the bottom, trying to bait them out. Going aggressive on Kevin. Has got the 3-talent strike. There's going to be the leap from Xuxe. Not going to have the damage, though. Kevin is too strong already with that Warmogs down. Managed to get away, no problem.
And there's no way you're going to kill Kevin at this point. That's what I was mentioning earlier, is what's the response to that? Because he's going to be so tanky, he can just sit in the backside of your team attacking you. They don't really have an AD carry, which is the major downside of this composition, to chunk the tanky targets down.
Well, Dragon is going to be up in 4 seconds' time. SK Gaming ready and waiting for this one. Dragonborn's not anywhere near it, so it's going to be SK picking this one up for free.
And SK doing a great job on control of this Dragon. The third one of the game, third one for them. And they are just playing so smart right now. I mean, they're realizing that as long as they keep this gold lead, as long as they keep taking dragons, keep taking buffs, keep going for turrets eventually, and not give up a 2-turret push like we saw last time, then they have this game in their pockets.
Well, the simple item advantage is going to pay off in the end there. How can they get slowed down their charge? As it is, they've yet to group up and really make a dent on towards Dragonborns. They haven't been able to siege them down. And we do see Dragonborns continuing to try and poke them, try and keep them at bay. And that's, to me, is the problem. So those spears are going to keep coming out. If they find a home, just needs to be one, maybe two that come out, along with the rocket, along with the spider that goes out there. The poke is quite strong, and it's going to be enough to just break that siege every time.
And not to mention the wave clearing we're seeing. I mean, we do see an engage actually coming out. Spontex just knocks him away.
3-talent strike does manage to pile away, and it's Kevin again. The focus moonfall comes out from Ocelot. Not going to really be enough. And this is what I'm talking about. The siege, it can't prolong because the poke damage, the burst damage that comes out from Dragonborn seems to prevent them so far. And again, those spears just constantly being thrown out.
Yeah, with the AoE that they have, the Xuxe with those void spikes, the spiderling out of Maluno, not to mention just the straight up damage at Spontex with that Audacious Charge, they can stop these waves from pushing up against them. And then with having Soraka there to give the mana to Hosan, they can siege. It's kind of weird. It's like they can still siege when they're defending and when they're attacking at this point.
Well, we see them slowly but surely clearing out their own jungle, and that's what they're going to do. Now they're going to have to just push out, pick any advantages up. So no advantage gained again from SK Gaming. That gold gap is actually starting to just dissipate a little bit. Dragonborn's slowly but surely closing in by 100 gold here and there. Not stretched since that very early game from SK Gaming.
You know, we've talked to Osop before, and he's always mentioned that they have a hard time closing games out. I think this was back in week 2, and in week 3 we saw a change in them completely, but I wonder if they're going to have that same problem this game, because they have the item advantage, they have the tankiness to go for this, but they're still being really hesitant at this point. They're still controlling the game very well with the Dragons, but they're not trying to like really go for any objectives besides that. They're not going for any turrets.
Well, as it stands, top lane Spontex once again, and SK Gaming positioning themselves to come back down that mid lane. Blue buff, actually, Kevin going in there will be spotted, walking straight over a ward. He's going to go up towards the top towards Spontex. As it is, we see him trotting up there, and he's going to clear out that wave. What are they going to do against him? Looking like he's building a wit's end here, Kevin, again. And before, I think, yesterday, sort of, I'm trying to think when it was in the LCS in North America. I remember Scara saying it's the first wit's end I've seen in like 3 months or something like that.
Hot Shot?
I think it was Hot Shot.
Yeah.
I think it was Hot Shot on Cho'Gath. And now suddenly we're seeing the wit's end making a revenge.
It's not a bad item to pick up. You're against a double AP composition. If you get an Aegis of the, or Bulwark of the, Runic Bulwark, there we go. I was about to say Bulwark of the Legion, yeah. So if you get that on top of that, he gives him so much magic resist that, you know, Maluna won't really be able to do too much to him. The spears won't hurt that much, and he can soak them up because he has that Warmogs, he has that regen, and not to mention off his heat and style hitting the minions, he can take that poke for his team and allow them to finally get that engage they want, because you see the Shurelya's on Nif. You see that they want to go for these engages, and with that speed increase, they're going to have the ability to do it.
Well, we see a massive advantage from Candy Panda slowly developing. 197 CS, you can see he clears a big wave down that bottom. As it is, Hosan is doing everything he can to try and pick out this.
He steals it away.
As Shushay steals it away with the rockets. Yes. It's nice and fair. I think it's you know, fight for your own buffs and fight for your own survivability in Dragonborns. Do or die.
And I'm trying to... Oh, we do have...
They're going to go straight in. Nif actually walking on. He's going to get caught out. And that was the cocoon. But he's strong enough to walk away and heal himself up. Blue buff, though, he's going to get picked up. There is a ward on this one. So they're going to be aware of the fact that Shushay has just picked up that blue buff. Kevin going in. He's going to be the front man. Can he get on towards Move? He will get the slowdown. Has to force the flash away. Maluna runs away as well. Shushay from the backside throwing the rocket. Spear's still coming as well. But SK Gaming didn't quite catch anyone out. That may well open an advantage for them in the mid lane. You know,
well, that's still a great job by Dragonborns to get that blue, keep it off of SK's hands, and then still escape without dying. I mean, we had Spontex in the bottom side of the map pushing himself, but if they did get caught, that would have been a disastrous fight.
Shushay is... Oh, I thought he was about to wait in that top lane. He was sat in the bush, ready and waiting to try and pounce and see how much he could do to Kevin. See how close he is to damaging him right now. Still yet to get that Black Cleaver built out there. Instead, picked up that BF sword along with the Brutalizer. So we're interested to see which way this is going to go. Possibly a Bloodthirster may come out from Shushay here. We've seen a couple of builds on Kha'Zix. Obviously, Alex is running him earlier on today. But as it stands, Move with that Oracle is clearing out the jungle. He realizes... Like you mentioned earlier on, for his team to have a chance, they need to see what the hell they're doing in their own jungle.
Yeah, and he's doing a perfect job of that. And Demon, I'm kind of surprised. We haven't really touched on Ocelot's items in particular, the Zhonya's. We haven't really mentioned that because that is as a perfect item. That's like his core item on Diana because he wants to be the one. He is the one that has that initiate with his ultimate to really get in there. So all he's going to do is get in there, pull them all together, pop the Zhonya's if he needs to, and allow his team to finally pile in behind him with the Shurelya's.
Well, the problem is, how are they going to stop Candy Panda once he gets to that level, that, you know, when the AD carry becomes the god of the map as the farming session progresses? What are they going to do to him? I mean, they need to obviously jump on him and take him down, but clearly there's quite a tanky line there that's going to just protect him.
Yeah, without Jarvan, they don't really have someone else to get into the backline with Shushay. Yeah, you have Xin, but he's not one of those champions you can have a guaranteed thing to get him into the backside, but it's really up to Shushay. I mean, he has to be the one to burst. Now we have Shreya's actually popped out of SK. They're trying to chase them away, but we have Maluna on the bottom side of the map, and this might be the key for SK to start taking this Baron.
Well, Maluna wasn't close. He's coming from the bottom of the map there, and SK Gaming are going to start this one off. We see a lot of wards placed down, so SK Gaming have got full vision. They're well aware that Dragonborns are going to close in. They're going to turn and burn. They're going to go towards Spontex, but Nif takes an arrow. You're going to see the Wither on towards Spontex. He turns around, puts his ultimate down. Have they got enough damage coming through the bushes? I'm not too sure. Splashes out of there. Still continuing the damage. Movehead's going to get taken low. He's going to get dropped. So it's one already for SK Gaming. You can see the voice points coming out. They leap away. The spear comes through. Catches on Kevin. Shushay taken low. Maluna caught out. Maluna goes down. Ocelot picks up the kill. It's a 2 for 0. And SK Gaming can choose any option they want now. It looks like it's going to be Baron.
Great job by SK to actually bait them in. Once they caught anyone on Dragonborns. They just went from that target to the next, and Dragonborns just could not disengage quick enough. We had Hosam, he was throwing spears every single cooldown, landing them every time, but it just wasn't enough. SK is just so tanky. We have a Hercubot with that lifesteal, with the Sunfire Cape, even two Null Magic Mantles. They can't really hurt anyone on SK at this point, and he has to land that spear on Candy Panda, because if they can kill him, that really opens up the fight for Dragonborns to engage head on.
Shushay shoving the wave up, trying to take any advantage he can, but nothing coming from it, so he's going to steal away. Blue buff is not there, and it's a Baron buff for SK Gaming, so Dragonborn's unable to capitalize on anything off the back, and SK Gaming fully in control now. They have a 9,000 gold advantage, and like you mentioned, it's kind of an issue of, I would say poke comp, but it's not really a poke comp from Dragonborns. It kind of is, but it isn't. But if they get caught on, if they are falling behind, it's very hard for a poke comp to catch up.
Yeah, we've mentioned that before. It's just, you can't really afford to be in that position. And as long as SK keeps winning these fights, they're not really going to give Dragonborns a chance to get back in. But I say that, but Dragonborns still has a chance. They really do. If they can wait up this Baron, if they can just, it's just all about that one spear. We've seen it happen before with Kenny Penn getting caught with a Lux Lightbind and then just blown up. If they can hit him, they open up that fight completely. They can force SK to back. They can do that hard engage with Shushay and then have Spontex come in from the side or even in the front and really just take them out one by one. Because once Kenny Penn is dead, all you really have is Asa for the damage. Well, okay, looking at it again, he has quite a bit of damage on him with that death cap, but worrying about just getting Candy Panda killed and then just having Asa to deal with, it isn't that bad of a thing to do because you have a lot of CC to lock him down.
Well, the spears keep coming out. The Dragon has spawned, and if SK get this one, it'll be their fourth one of the game, unanswered by Dragonborns. They are losing their siblings every single time, and there it is. Another one picked up by Hercubot.
Never going to live that one down.
Never.
Oh, well, I thought it was a pretty good one. Freak baited me into it. But still, we have SK, like you just said, fourth Dragon. That gives them just an insane amount of gold. It really does.
They're waiting. Oh, I thought they were looking to maybe try and come off the side. They do throw the spears out. They throw the rockets out. They throw out the cocoon, and everything misses. But there was a lot of burst down on Candy Panda there.
Yeah, if they can just hit their entire combo, the spear, they can have Kha'Zix go in with his combo, and Maluno hits his combo onto someone, they can kill him as you saw
They're going straight in. Oh, I thought they were all going to pile in towards that bush. Maluno is there. He could get caught. He does, but it's not going to go follow it up. And SK Gaming actually poking their own strategy right now. Nif again takes another spear to the chops.
And Dragonborns are doing a great job right now because they know they can't defend this turret, but they're just faking like they can. They're really hitting SK with everything they possibly can, doing as much damage just to keep them away. And once SK finally dodges, one or two spears, they can take this turret pretty damn easily. I mean, having a 5-0 and 3 Nasus, he's just such a tanky force. I don't think I've actually seen his ultimate once this game used, if I think about it.
And look how quick, though, they are wave clearing. This is SK Gaming with a Baron. Ocelot just off the side right now. He wants to get in. He wants to get around the backside. Hercubot is with him. The spears keep going out. They're waiting for someone to just make that mistake. But these Void Spikes, everything is getting cleared out before he gets even close. Maluna may well be the man that takes the shot, and no, instead he sends out the spear. So they've got everything in their favor to throw it out. Oh, the spear actually catching on Ocelot there, realizing the situation, and they do try and poke him around. They're going to try and go around the maneuver towards that bottom. Can they catch anything down there? The ward goes down. That's going to get spotted out. May get cleared. No, it will not. And it's going to be Dragonborns continuing to defend the siege from SK Gaming.
I think this is even a worse position for them to be in.
Oh, they're caught on towards Candy Panda. Have they got the damage there to follow it through? Spontex is taking incredibly low. He's going to get dropped eventually here. And that's going to be Hosan going down as well. SK finally breaking the siege, catching him out. Shushay is going to run away from this one. I'm not worried about it. Nif with that ultimate running is putting all the defenses down. Hercubot tanking out the turret, and they're going to take down the inner turrets. Can they take anything more?
Yeah, I mean, with that Baron, they have full health now. They actually kept Spontex!
Why are you backing away? Full vision right in front of the turret. That's going to be the inhibitor turret taken down. It's a 2 for 0. That's a massive advantage for SK Gaming now. Dragonborns were trying to hold out the siege, but it can't withstand the power of SK Gaming when there's a 9,000 gold difference. Oh! Shushay removed from the map. This is going to be the game for SK Gaming. They're just going to run on through. The damage coming out from Ocelot using that Zhonya's hourglass. He's going to get away, but it doesn't matter. The Nexus turret goes down, and SK Gaming go 4-1. Ladies and gentlemen, I expect to see red hair from that man on your screen at the World Championships for Intel Extreme Masters.
That was a well-played win for SK. They deserve that one in every way, shape, and form. And I really hope that Ocelot, if he's going to dye his hair red, I hope it's permanent red, not like, oh, you spray it on, then he can wash off the next day kind of thing. But still, well played by SK overall. They countered the Nidalee and the Soraka comp then again, it wasn't necessarily played like we thought it would be.